Under Kripa first, and then under the great Drona, the 105 princes were forged into warriors. And when the training was done, a day was proclaimed for the city to see what it had raised. A grand tournament of arms before the royal house and all Hastinpura. The arena filled until it could hold no more. Prince after prince displayed his skill. And then Arjuna stepped out, and the day changed. Arrows that split, arrows, feats that blurred the line between archery and sorcery. The crowd forgot to cheer, then remembered all at once, and the roar shook birds from the palace roofs. Here, plainly, was the finest bowman alive. One face in the royal gallery did not share the joy. Duryodhan watched his cousin bathe in the city's love, and every cheer fell on him like a small stone. His brow darkened, his jaw set. For jealousy, remember, is a fire that feeds on other people's happiness. And today was a banquet. Then, as the day was closing, a sound rolled in from the arena gate. The thunder crack of mighty palms striking mighty arms. The old challenge of a warrior announcing himself. Conversation died. 10,000 heads turned together toward the entrance, and the packed crowd began, without being asked, to part. Through the lane of silence walked a youth who did not seem entirely mortal. Tall, golden, light coming off him like heat of a summer road. He swept the arena with a proud glance, gave Drona and Kripa the barest courtesy of a salute, and walked straight up to Arjuna. The stranger had chosen his man, and so they stood face to face for the first time, and neither knew what every listener should now hold in mind. These two were brothers. The stranger was Karna, Kunti's abandoned firstborn, the son of the sun facing the son of Indra. Fate had brought her boys together at last, with weapons in their hands. Karna's voice matched his bearing, deep, unhurried, like far-off thunder, deciding whether to come closer. Arjuna, he said, whatever you have shown them today, I will show them better. 10,000 people drew breath at once. No one had ever spoken to Arjuna like that. The stranger did not seem to know it, or care, and he was as good as his word. With Drona's leave, Karna duplicated Arjuna's feats, every one of them, with an ease that looked almost bored. The crowd sat torn between two wonders, their loyalty suddenly a divided thing. And up in the gallery, Duryodhan's dark day burst into sunrise. Here was a man who could match Arjuna. Duryodhan was down the steps before the dust settled, arms thrown wide. Welcome, mighty armed one. Fortune itself has sent you. I and this whole Kuru kingdom are yours to command. And Karna, measuring him, asked for exactly two things: your friendship, king, and single combat with Arjuna. But as love flooded one prince, fury flooded the other. Arjuna stepped forward, eyes blazing at this stranger, being garlanded with his own applause. Uninvited intruders who boast unbidden have a hell reserved for them. Karna, I will send you there myself. The words rang across the arena like a blade drawn. Karna only laughed. This arena is public ground, Arjuna. It belongs to no one man, not even you. Kings rule by strength, and law itself leans on the strong. But why are we trading words? Words are the weapons of the weak. Shoot arrows instead. It was scorn, polished until it shone, so it would be combat. Arjuna embraced his brothers quickly and took his ground. Karna clasped Duryodhan's hand and took his. Two perfect archers, facing each other across a hushed arena in the failing light. Somewhere in the stands, one woman alone knew that whichever of them fell, her son would die. Even the heavens leaned in. Indra of the storm clouds gathered grey above his son Arjuna, while Bhaskar the sun broke through and lit his boy Karna in gold. Two divine fathers taking their places over one arena, watching their sons take aim at each other. The sky itself was divided, and Kunti had recognized her firstborn the moment the light touched him. The armor he was born in, the earrings, the son's own bearing, a mother knows. Her two sons stood ready to kill each other in front of her, and she could not say one word. The world went dark, and she fainted where she sat. Before the first arrow flew, old Kripa stepped between the archers with the rulebook of chivalry in his voice. This prince is a son of Pandu and Pritha, of the royal Kuru line, he announced. Name your own lineage, warrior. Princes of blood do not cross weapons with unknown men. The question every eye now asked, who are you? And the golden stranger had no answer. Karna's proud head sunk slowly, like a lotus bending under rain. A man with a sun god's blood in his veins and a charioteer's hut for a pedigree. In an arena full of noise, there is no silence louder than the one around a humiliated man. Duryodhana rose with the answer that changed Karna's life. If rank is all that stands in the way, he cried, then rank is easily supplied. I crown Karna king of Anga, here and now. Consent was won from Bhishma, and the blind king, water and rites were brought. And before the sun finished setting, the charioteer's boy sat crowned. And then, through the pomp, came shuffling an old man with a staff, Adhirtha the charioteer, trembling at all these kings. Karna saw him, and in front of every crowned head in Hastinpura, the new king of Anga bowed low and touched his foster father's feet. The old man wept, calling him son, embracing him with thin arms. Love and coronation water mingling on the same proud head. Bhima's laughter cracked across the moment like a whip. A charioteer's son after all. Take up the driving whip. Boy, that suits your blood better than a crown. You are not worthy of Arjuna's arrow, let alone Anga's throne. Karna's lips trembled. He said nothing, only lifted his eyes to the setting sun, his father, and breathed one long, silent sigh. It was Duryodhana who answered, Shame on such talk, Bhima. Valor is a Kshatriya's only pedigree. Do we trace mighty rivers to their springs? Look at this man, that armor grown into his skin, that godlike bearing. Can a tiger be born of an antelope? He is worthy to rule not Anga, but the earth, and in generous wrath, he took Karna up into his own chariot and drove away through the dusk. A friendship sealed for life and for death. The sun set, and the crowd flowed home arguing under the lamplight. Some for Arjuna, some for Karna, some for Duryodhana's daring. But one spectator left the arena thinking further ahead than any of them. Indra, king of the gods, had seen what was coming. One day his son and the son's son must meet for the last time. And a father, even a divine one, begins to scheme. Karna had one famous vow. No one who begged of him at his prayers went away empty-handed. So Indra came to him disguised as an old Brahman and asked for the golden armor and earrings he was born with. The son had already warned his son in a dream. It will be Indra, and it will be a trick. Refuse him. Karna heard the warning, and when the beggar stood before him, he cut the living armor from his own body and gave it anyway. Bleeding, smiling. A gift is a gift. Even the king of the gods stood shamed by that. In return, Indra bade him name a boon, and Karna chose a weapon, the Sakti, the unfailing dart. Indra granted it, with a god's fine print. It will kill any one enemy it is thrown at, whoever he may be, but only one. Then it returns to me forever. Karna took the dart and put it away, saving it, as the whole world would one day learn. For Arjuna, one more door remained, and Karna entered it with a lie. Calling himself a Brahman, he became Parsurma's disciple and won the Brahmastra. One afternoon, with the master asleep on his lap, a stinging worm bored into Karna's thigh, and he sat motionless in the blood rather than wake his teacher. Parsurma woke, saw, and knew. No Brahman bears pain like that. You are Kshatriya, and you lied. His curse fell. At your hour of greatest need, the Brahmastra will forget you. Mark it all. The given armor, the one-used dart, the sleeping curse. Karna's death was written now, years before Kurukshetra.